Hi Queens, Sam here. I hope you're doing well. In my video today, I wanted to offer an extension from my video last week. So if you watched my video last week, you already know that I shared wealth building silent killers. So essentially, different things that we may be doing which may actually prevent us from building wealth. And the last one that I shared was in regard to credit card interest. And I'm just gonna pick up right there because again, it's really important. My video today is actually talking more about credit cards. So I'm going to start from where I left the conversation last week, which is essentially credit card interest. And when we talk about the importance of you paying off your credit card each month, I'm going to give you an example of how crucial it is. So, at one point, I had, let's say, $1,000 in terms of balance on my credit card. And I rarely pay, my credit card in one shot. Usually it's like a few payments here and there, but I always make sure that I pay the full balance by the time the payment is due. For that particular month, that particular card, something must have happened. I did make some payment. However, I think I was short by $50. Very small amount, $50. And by the time I realized the due date has already passed, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. I've paid a big chunk of it. I'm probably going to get interest on the $50 left that I have to pay. So then the next time that I got my statement, I was going through it, and also because I knew I didn't pay the full balance, I just wanted to see how much interest I was charged. And I was surprised to see that the interest amount was quite high. Really didn't have anything to do with how much was left for me to pay on that on the previous balance. So of course, I got into that rabbit hole and started to question and look at things and trying to understand why the interest was so high. And one thing that I realized in searching and essentially Googling or getting to some forums is if you do not pay your balance in full, so even if you pay a big chunk of it and there is like $10 left, $20 left, $50 left, you still have to pay interest on the full amount. So what happened to me that particular month is like the credit card company actually applies interest on the full $1,000 that I owe them, discrediting the fact that essentially I paid $950. So there was no difference between me making a big chunk of payment against my balance compared to someone who did not pay nothing. At the end of the day, we were subjected the same way, essentially having to pay interest in the same way. So it really tells you that essentially the way the system is done is not sometimes not to help us, because I will think that even someone who's making some payment will get a bit of a break, essentially just pay interest on how much is left for them to pay. But no, they're actually telling you if you do not pay your balance in full each month, we do not care how much you're paying. If you pay $0 or you pay enough, but like you're missing $1, you're still going to have to pay interest on the full amount only. Something to keep in mind. So I'm never gonna stop saying this. Credit card, when it comes to your credit card, important, crucial to make the full payment of your balance each month. Find a way to not have to pay any interest, because you're just going to keep on paying interest and interest, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing about credit card that I wanted to share is 30% of your credit score is based on your utilization rate. So your utilization rate is how much of your credit you are using. Of course, they'll look at everything you have in terms of credit, so personal loans, mortgages, car loans, credit card, line of credit, and just see what is the limit you have available to you overall and how much you're using. So ideally, you don't want to go over 50% of your utilization. So let's say you have a $1,000 credit card in terms of limit. Ideally, monthly, you don't want to go over 500, especially if that's the only credit that you have. because the credit bureau will see you, if you go over the 50%, will see you as someone who uses a lot of credit. They won't even look at the fact that essentially your limit is small, and that essentially you using your credit card at like $600 a month, it's better than someone using the credit card at, let's say, $5,000 a month, but having available to them 50,000 in terms of limit. They're looking at essentially your utilization ratio. So you want to keep that percentage as low as possible. Let's say if you only have one credit card and really, each month you use a credit card for something over $500. In that case, I would suggest that you maybe get a second credit card with the same limit at $1,000, and then you split your expenses between those two credit cards, because then your utilization ratio will fall. Of course, you're not increasing your expenses, you're just keeping the expenses the same, but just spread between two cards. So your overall available limit will increase. However, your utilization will stay the same, and that will make your utilization ratio lower. Or you can also give a call to your credit card company and ask them to increase your limit. If you have had a good history of payment with them, they'll probably be okay doing that for you. So that's another thing about credit card. And the other thing about credit card that I wanted to share is, at times I meet people, and as we're talking about finances, they say, I don't like credit, I do not have credit card, I just pay everything in cash, I pay everything with my debit card. I applaud you, nothing wrong with that. However, we are living in a world that eventually at one point you may need credit. And it's better for you to have a credit history than not have one when you may need the credit. That could be to buy a house, that could be for a business loan, that could be to buy land. So there is no way for the credit card company, or let's say the financial institution, when you ask them to borrow some money from them, there is no way for them to know if you're actually a good borrower, if you're someone who repay on time. And you might tell them, well, I never use credit cards because I pay everything cash, I have my money and all of those things. That's fine. However, they're not going to go through months and months or years and years of your account statement just to see that you're paying everything cash. They're going to be pulling up your credit bureau, and if there is nothing in there for them to be comfortable with just saying this person is a good borrower who has a good repayment history, chances are you're not going to be getting that loan, and they might ask you for a co-signer. So even if it's for a small limit, $500, $1,000, I'll suggest you get the credit card. A credit card is a easy, simple, affordable way. When I say affordable, like easy, accessible, I'll say more accessible, not affordable, like accessible, to build your credit history. Of course, you need to manage well your credit. However, I'll say probably is the most easily accessible available credit out there for anyone who wants to start building their credit bureau. So I strongly suggest that you actually get one and manage it well. And the last thing about credit card that I want to share is, actually sometimes you'll see advertisement about companies offering credit card, but when you read it very closely, you see that it's actually a charge card. So what is the difference between a charge card and a credit card? The first thing is, both of them will appear on your credit bureau. They'll work the same. If you have a good repayment history, they'll help you build your credit score. If you don't have a good repayment history, then they will probably impact negatively your credit score. However, for a credit charge, you need to pay your balance in full. You have no choice. You have to pay that in full. The only one company that I know so far that has a credit charge is a charge card is American Express. I don't know if there are any financial institution out there that has that. And so if maybe you like the one that sometimes you miss a payment, paying in full your credit card, and you need a bit of incentive, then switch to a charge card, because you have no choice. It's part of your terms and conditions that you need to pay the balance in full. It may hurt, but it will help you to build those healthy habits when it comes to building wealth. That's that. So what do you think? Anything that essentially you did not know about credit card that I just shared with you, do let me know in the comments. And also, if there are any other thing that you want to share about credit card, I will be interested to know, because again, it's the most accessible credit out there, and the more we know how they work, the better it is for us. Hope that you got some value from this video. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification bell so next time I'm dropping gems here, you are the first one to be notified. And until next time, have a good day.